fans, welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm your host, as always, Cammy. Now, I'm back from WonderCon. I got books to talk about, 3 of them being the first issues of a new series, or etc. Let's get right into it, shall we? First up from Marvel, we have the Deadpool Corps #1. Now, when this was, the preludes were happening, I was loving them. If you read my reviews or see past episodes, they're funny stuff. This is the premiere issue of the new series, the ongoing, and let me just say, we can stop all the other Deadpool knockoffs / spin-offs, and then just go focus with Deadpool Corps, and then the ongoing Deadpool series. This was funny. You have all the characters from the prelude to the Deadpool Corps, and they're all working together off to battle a Galactus-type being that instead of taking planets, it feeds on minds from people on the planet. And then they fight this one champion named Tycho, and they just defeat him pretty easily because if anything, they trick him, and he's not seeing it coming. He's expecting a fight, but not childish antics like they displayed, because they're all Deadpool. You know, you got Deadpools running around. They're not going to be taken seriously. And then it ends in a bar fight with said guy after the Deadpool Corps have to land on this one planet, refuel, then bar fight, and then cliffhanger, as they point out in the issue. So it was really fun stuff. Victor Geisler is doing a great job on writing. And then you got Rob Liefeld, the creator of Deadpool, drawing. So it's fun stuff. If you like Deadpool, you'll like this book. Next up from Vertigo, we have Demo Volume 2, #3. Now this has to be one of the best issues drawn by Becky Cloonan to date of the Demo series, both Volumes 1 and 2. The artwork was just fantastic. The girl was so goddamn cute. We follow this Marlowe as she is has a slight, a mild case of OCD, as her therapist points out. She leaves sticky notes for herself all over her entire apartment and on her way to work, from work to her therapist's office, etc. All these little notes written by her. They help her get through her day-to-day. Because then she just has to look at the notes, read them, and then everything's okay. Well, eventually one time, this happens. This one guy writes her notes and starts writing her notes, and that's how he's communicating with her, is through the notes. And then she kind of has to, she herself gets rid of her routine, throws all the notes away, and decides to, maybe trust this guy, put all her trust in this one guy. And then at the end they meet finally at the coffee shop, and it seems it could be something new, could be a happily ever after for all we know. But all I know is that it was a really great issue. A lot of people aren't a fan of black and white. I think if you were to look through this issue in particular, you just fall in love. It's Becky Cloonan, it's Brian Wood. The two are an unstoppable force to be reckoned with. Pick it up. Great stuff. Next up from Image, we have Turf #1. Now this is written by British talk show host Jonathan Ross, or as he might call himself, Jonathan Wass. Wass, anyway. It's written by him, drawn by Tommy Lee Edwards. One of the main reasons I picked this up. I mean, I know Jonathan Ross is a huge comic book fan. He did this great documentary, if you have BBC or you're able to get it somehow, called In Search of Ditko, of Steve Ditko. Great stuff. But anyway, back to his own comic book. It's really dense, first of all. You're not going to get everything right away on the first read-through. You might need an issue or two more in order to make everything click and come together. But in this issue, you have 1929 is the year. It's the height of the Prohibition in New York City. And you have gangs running the booze, killing the police officers left and right. You got this one reporter gal caught in the middle of it all. And then you have the Dragomir family out of Europe, and they don't want booze. They want big barrels of blood. Why? Because they're vampires. So, and then you have the crash landing of aliens later on too. So, in this comic book, you have gangs, prohibition, ladies, guns, vampires, and aliens. All set in the 1929. It's just fun, people! Obviously, Jonathan Ross is having a fun time, and Tommy Lee Edwards' art on this is just fucking gorgeous. So it all comes together beautifully. Even if you don't know what the hell's going on story-wise, you're still going to have a fun time regardless. So go ahead and pick it up as soon as you can. If you're looking for something new, something quirky, it's really fun stuff. I'm going to be looking very carefully at the next couple issues coming out. Next up from DC, we have Jonah Hex #54. Now, I gotta just start off by saying that Jordi Burnett's art on this is just astounding. It really has that good gritty Western feel to it. It made the story a hell of a lot more enjoyable than it usually is. You got Gray and Palmiotti writing this as usual, and you have the Jonah Hex rounding up some bank robbers, falls asleep after getting drunk one night. He gets framed for killing this one sheriff because while he was passed out, or before he got drunk, he was having an argument with the sheriff about the cost of whatnot. But anyway, you find out that he was kind of set up accidentally by Starman, who is this one guy who goes around killing sheriffs in towns and has all their badges all over his body to show his trophies, as it were. Well, he helps Jonah Hex break out, and then you find out that this is a whole big... Nothing was right in this town with the sheriffs. They're all corrupt. Brother-in-law was supposed to show that you know, they needed more protection, and then he was supposed to come in with his sheriffs and show, like, give the town protection. And then pretty much Jonah Hex came along and fucked all this up for him. And so it was great Western, great Jonah Hex issue. The art by far is my favorite part of this issue, and that's the main reason why you should all go pick this up regardless, if you're not picking up Jonah Hex already. And finally this week from Marvel, we have S.H.I.E.L.D. #1. Jonathan Hickman is the name. That's all I needed to hear. It was like S.H.I.E.L.D. taking place back, you know, back when S.H.I.E.L.D. was first started, and Jonathan Hickman. And I was just like, sold! I myself am a big fan of Jonathan Hickman, and so I rushed out, read this first. It was good stuff for a first issue. We follow a guy named Leonid. This happens back in 1953. He's taken to Rome, and the city underneath Rome, because the whole legend was like Rome was built upon Rome, and then there is an underground city. It's called the Immortal City, and he's told by this S.H.I.E.L.D. Council, who protect the world, about the origins of S.H.I.E.L.D. and how Imhotep back in ancient Egypt fought off the Brood, and then they took his symbol, which was this eagle that you see the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo on, being used, and how all these different people throughout history, throughout the different continents, different civilizations, were a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was the secret organization keeping the world safe, including Leonardo da Vinci. Da Vinci was a part of it, and under his reign, there was something blocking out the sun. It was growing larger while the sun was growing weaker, so he had to go up into space with one of his contraptions to figure out what the hell was going on. Meanwhile, you see that they were battling Galactus throughout history. They were battling all these big figures, and then the Night Machine returns, and he's Leonid's father, and he's supposed to be the one of some sort. And then you see the return of Leonardo da Vinci. Also, you see cameos from a Mr. Stark and a Mr. Richards. So I'm thinking these are the parents of Tony and Reed. These aren't the actual guys, because this is 1953, they weren't born yet, if you want to go by the 616 continuity. So it's interesting to see all the cameos. I had a fun time. Great stuff, go pick it up. Well, comic book fans, that does it this week for Camy's Comic Corner. If you want more Camy's Comic Corner goodness, head on over to www.camyscomiccorner.com. From there you can see the WonderCon video that is up. Put it up a couple days ago. 45 minutes long. It's, you know, an episode of a primetime show without commercials, as it were. So you get a ton of interviews, tons of great people to talk to, etc. Also, if you like any of the kick-ass t-shirts that you see me wearing, like this limited edition Camy's Comic-Con Corner t-shirt 2010, head on over to www.deadlinegraphics.net and send Kelly an email. He has the best of comic book t-shirts, custom-made t-shirts, whatever kind of t-shirt you want. He'll put a t-shirt on a t-shirt if you want it. One name that I trust, Kelly at deadlinegraphics.net. Also, big shout out to Rising Sun Creations at rsc-online.com. They specialize in the best of manga, US comics, and collectible toys imported straight from Japan, all located conveniently at rsc-online.com. Or if you are in the San Diego area, they are right in Mission Valley. Great stuff. Thanks again, Rising Sun Creations, for being a sponsor. Well, comic book fans, that does it. During WonderCon, I put up that's right, count them, 2 episodes of Geeky Talkie, the audio podcast of Camy's Comic Corner. Both quality kind of meh, second one's kind of better, but it's going to improve. I have my best people looking at the situation, assessing it, and realizing that the laptop mic was canceling out the USB mic, the nice expensive USB mic, pretty much both times. So, I swear, quality will improve, because, you know, I don't want to be just the video podcast. I want to be a star! So, this has been Camy's Comic Corner. I've been your host, Cammy. Let's go party, people. UFC 112 is on tonight, and yeah, that's all you need to know.